everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. Oh my god, okay, you guys, welcome to the final part. I know there was only 2 parts, but welcome to the final part of this Horse Ranch Manor, and I am so thankful for all the love that I got on Instagram, on YouTube here. I just wanted to say thank you guys so much for loving my build, and I wasn't even done it, so I really appreciate everyone in the kind comments. I know my Instagram isn't like big like at all. I think I have like just over 300 followers on my Instagram, and I have 6K here, but like I just thought it was like so nice because like every time I went on Instagram, I was like, oh, someone shared your story. I was like, oh, people love it. Great. I'm so happy. So, but yeah, you guys, this build is going to be for something very special. And the reason why I made this was for something special, and you guys will probably figure that out soon. And I will probably let you guys know, but this build is just so much fun to build. It was really big, and oh my gosh, you guys, the back of this house was so hard to figure out because I would sit at work and I'd sit there and draw because I really like doing drawings and stuff like that to kind of figure out the layout of how I want like my build to look. So I'll try and do the best like house placement, and this little barn here is gonna store the horses, and I cut out probably about 7 times. I tried to remake this building that you're seeing right now. It was just a pain in my colito. It was so dumb because it was so hard to do. But I like it. I think it's cute. I don't really have much like in the barn right here. Like, I guess this isn't really a barn, it's like a stable. I don't really have much inside because I want to kind of do like a reno of it when we get the horse ranch, and then when we do that, then I'll put all of the extra I guess objects inside of it, and then I'll put it on the gallery. I don't know, should I put it on the gallery now and then just do like a reno of it? I probably will do that. I used to do that with my high schools that I did because a lot of people would download it and then they'd be like, hey, can you put in the new high school stuff and kind of make it functional that way? And I'm like, yeah, sure. So I'll do that. I guess I'll just have it on the gallery. I'll have it on the gallery today. So as you're seeing this is up on the gallery now to download, and I'm so freaking excited for you guys to try it. I hope you like it. I hope it's functional. From what I tested, it was. So let me know if you guys find anything. But if you guys are new to the channel, hi, how are you? My name is Jamie. I'm also known here as Simspiration here on YouTube, and I do a lot of speed builds, and I do a lot of like big builds, and this is a big build. So this is usually what I show on my channel. I like to do a lot of extravagant things, but I am trying to do a lot more smaller things in this game. I don't know whether or not I'll be doing it a lot, but I am gonna try in the future to do a little bit more of smaller stuff just because this takes forever and I want to post a lot more. I also want to start a brand new family for the new expansion pack that we are getting. So I was thinking of trying to get like my old family, like the Heartphilia family, in there and try and just like bring them over because I spent so long on the family itself. But I do want to make a new one because I feel like my other one was really scripted, and I just want to have fun and I want to enjoy it. And I feel like someone made a comment and it was super like precise, where it was just draining, like trying to get like an actual storyline and try and make it work, and I don't know. So I probably will get a new Horse Ranch family, and I don't know if I want to make it one sim and just make it kind of like a rags to riches, or just like a normal family. So let me know if you have any ideas. But now that that is all aside, I have a couple stories to tell you guys, and any of you are new, this is what I like to do. I don't really like talking about the build. It's very weird for me. It's very hard. So I like telling you guys about the stories that happen in my life and at work. So I have 2. I did post the other day, I think it was on Twitter, and if you haven't followed me on there, I just started like actually posting. So I have it in the description if you do want to go follow me on there. But yeah, I almost died driving home. And you're like, you what? Yeah, no, I almost died driving home. And yeah, so this is what happened. It was probably 9-ish, almost 10 o'clock at night, and I was driving back from work. And usually it takes me a really long time to close the stores because I was just never fast at it. I have like a little book, and it has like from word for word how to actually like close the store, and if you follow every word you won't mess up like at all. It's just like it's foolproof, you know. That's the stuff that I need. It's foolproof. And so I finished way early than I usually do, and I was pretty quick at it. So I was like, oh, okay, great, I'm gonna go home now. So as I'm driving home, for any of y'all that know, I live in the absolute god of nowhere. I live so far away in like a tiny little city where, like, not even a city, it's a town. It's probably a village. It'd be considered like a village or something, where there are more ghost residents than there are living, okay? But I live in a nice house. Like, it's just like a weird thing. Anyway, so on the back roads that I take to go home, they're all about 80 kilometers an hour. I don't know how that translates to people in other countries, but I'm from Canada, so 80 kilometers for me. And usually I do 80 kilometers on the back roads, like it's just the way I go, but sometimes I want to be careful because there are like animals and people and stuff like that that I gotta watch out for. Not mostly people, but a lot of animals. And so I was driving on my way home, and this person in front of me was driving like really slow, like really slow. Like I'm talking like they're going 60, 50, and an 80. And I'm like, okay, I have a couple of options. Do I go around this person, not fast, but just past them because they are going a lot slower than the actual, you know, posted sign? Or do I sit here and I wait? Or do I kind of like flicker my high beams to kind of tell them to, like, you know, go, you know? So as I'm driving behind them, I'm like sitting here contemplating it, because what I usually do is I always just pass them because it's just really fast. I don't speed, obviously, but like if they're going 20 kilometers under the speed limit, like of course I'm gonna pass them. Like, you know, it's just the way it goes. And so I pass around. Usually I always just pass around them, and that's always my go-to. Like obviously I wait, but I pass. And so I'm like sitting here, and I don't know why it's taking me so long to figure out whether or not I want to pass them or not. Usually it's just like okay, I'm just gonna go around. And so I'm like sitting here, and I'm like, in my head I start going, well, you know, they'll probably speed up, you know, it's okay, like they'll speed up, just wait, you know. And again, I always just like pass the person in front of me. And so I'm sitting here and I'm waiting and I'm waiting and I'm waiting. And I'm just like, man, these people aren't going. And so I start to like flick my high beams, like, because I don't want to honk. I think that's rude. So I just kind of like flick my high beams, like telling her, like, you know, please move, just go, at least to the speed limit. And this girl, again, in the car is still just going 50, 60 kilometers an hour. And in that moment, as we're driving, I saw an animal run in front of like her car. So I could see the legs coming from the left side of the road. And again, we're on country back roads, okay? I want you to paint this in your head, girl, okay? So we're on the back roads, all farmers' land either beside us, pitch dark. It is nothing. You can't see anything. The only light that you get is from your headlights. And so I saw like 4 legs kind of run in front of the car and then run to the other side. And I'm like, oh my God, the person in front of me, since they were going so slow, they could kind of, like, they didn't do a hard jerk to the right, to the left to kind of go, like, to not hit it. It was like a very small, like, woo, kind of like turn out of the way so they didn't hit the animal. And as I saw this animal, it was a giant deer. Now, for any of you guys who are listening and you don't understand yet how much damage a deer can have on you or your car or even on themselves. Deer, at least in the wild, for, all that stuff, they're not small animals. And the thing is that people, when they hit in front of those animals like bear, deer, moose, anything like that, a lot of the times, and unfortunately a lot of the times, it can end very fatal. And for me, when I saw the deer jump in front of the car and then go to the other side, it didn't get hit. Don't worry. It was very safe. Everyone was safe. Everyone was fine. But as I saw this deer, I was like, oh my gosh, because in my head, I go, well, if I went around the person that was in front of me and I didn't wait, and I drove, obviously, to go around them, probably more than 80 kilometers to go around their car, up to 80 kilometers or something like that, and that deer ran in front of me, I would have totally, 150% would have hit that deer. And the thing is that that deer was on the side of my driver's side, So if I would have been driving 80 kilometers an hour and I run around that car, not thinking the entire way down, I would have 150% hit that deer, and the deer would have been gone. I would have either been gone or I would have had major injuries, and I would have had a major accident. And even if I was okay, my car would have been totaled, would have been absolutely totaled. And so that was really like crazy for me, because I'm like, oh my God. And if some of you are like, Jamie, it didn't hit your car, you're fine, don't worry about it. I don't know why you're making such a big deal out of it. But you gotta understand, if you were driving down that road my same way and you were driving 80 kilometers an hour and the timestamp would fit perfect, I would have been in the line of fire by this deer, and it would have been the exact same timing. And so if I wouldn't have done that, if I wouldn't have had that in my head being, maybe I should just wait, even though I never do that. I was sitting there contemplating for like 2 minutes, and I'm like, should I go? No, I'm just gonna sit. They're gonna go anyway. They're gonna speed up. And I just stayed behind them, but I never got hit. Hallelujah. Knock on wood. And so I definitely believe someone who was looking after me was like, don't go. Don't go, because you're gonna end very badly in this whole scenario, and so is that deer. And so I was like, okay. And I just, that little voice in your head kind of just saved me. So as soon as that happened and I counted my lucky stars, I prayed and I said thank you for to whoever saved me, because that could have ended really badly. And I know people look out for me. I see, I hear, I think of a lot of things, and a lot of things come true. So does my sister. So it's really weird. It's really cool. It doesn't happen a lot. There was like a lady that came to our store the other day. And usually when we sign them up for cars and stuff like that, we always ask their first, last name and all that fun jazz. And so before this lady came in and she told me her name, I was like, oh my God, her name is totally Janice. You guys, she was like, oh, my name is Janice. I was like, okay. I knew her name was Janice. I acted cool. I was like, oh, okay, great. But in my head, I was like internally screaming, because I was like, oh my God, her name, that was Janice. I knew Janice. I knew your name. So I don't know. It was so funny. And an older lady that came, I think a week before that, came in, and I knew her name was Patricia. And she was like, oh, my name's Patricia. I was like, I know your name's Patricia. It was so weird. And my sister, you guys, oh my God, my sister, usually every day when she has work and stuff like that, she writes down everything that she needs to do that day. And she was writing down, okay, I need to do this, do that, this, and this. And so as she's writing all that stuff down, she writes in the bottom right of the corner saying, something bad is going to happen today, but I don't know what. And so later that day, I'm at work, and I'm on my break, so I'm going to Shoppers Drug Mart to go get like a 1 liter jug of water because that's what I usually do. Like that's what I grab like when I go to work because it just lasts me almost the entire time. And I walk by, and there's this cinema store, Cinema One, I think that's what it's called. And the Cinema One store is going out of the mall, and they have been in the mall forever, for years, you guys. Like, I'm telling you, like almost my entire life, years. And that is my sister's favorite store. She doesn't like streaming movies and stuff like that. She likes having like the hard copy of these CDs. And so as this is happening and I walk by and I see that it's closing, it's not moving to another area. It is like for sure just going out of the mall. And I'm like, oh my God, I need to tell Brittany. So ring, ring, call Brittany. I'm like, hey, Britt. I'm like, I have something really bad to tell you. I think you need to sit down for this. And she was like, oh my God, like, why are you saying that? What? And I go, Britt, your favorite store, Cinema One, is leaving the mall forever. And she's like, no. And she's like, I knew something bad was gonna happen today. I've even written it down. And I was like, what are you talking about? She's like, I've written it down. I had all my stuff, and then I said, today something bad's gonna happen. And sure enough, it did. And I was like, oh, what? So she's like, here, I'll send you a picture. She sent me a picture. I wish I could have screenshotted it, but I didn't want to be weird. But she predicted something bad was going to happen today, and her favorite store closed down. And she also predicted one of our coworkers leaving, like our old work. She was like, I totally think this guy's going to be quitting. He's going to get fired. I don't know why I'm thinking about this, but he's totally going to get fired. And I think the next day they got like an email sent to everyone in the work, and they said, oh, blah, 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 is now resigning. They're no longer going to be working with us. And my sister's like, oh my God, totally understood it. And another thing, and another one. Okay, you guys, I was working at an old work that I used to do, and it was just very continuous thing. So my mind always wandered. I always did a bunch of stuff. And there was a specific number. I'm not going to say it because I don't want it to pinpoint it down to who it is. But there was a specific number in my head that I had, and it was a very, large number. And I was like, if I won this amount of money, the specific number, it was a very weird number, but it was a very specific number. And for 2 months, I kept thinking about this number and being like, what would it be like to like win that amount of money? Well, I do this for my dad. I do this for my mom, my sister, everyone. And I was like sitting here constantly thinking about it all day. And it happened for like 2 weeks. A couple months later, one of my relatives won the lottery. And the amount of the money that they won was the same number that was popped in my head and wouldn't leave my brain when I was at work. And I didn't even know the lottery numbers at all. And it was the number that got stuck in my head for almost 2 months, almost every day, because I loved just daydreaming about it. I didn't know why. I just kept daydreaming. And sure enough, my family member won that number like a couple months later. And it was super crazy because I went home and I was just doing whatever. And my dad comes and he goes, Jamie, guess what? And I go, what? And he says, so-and-so just won the lottery. And I was like, no way. I'm like, how much did they win? And then he said the number and I was like, huh? I was like, they what? That number? Oh my God. So I don't know, guys. Maybe I'm a psychic. Maybe my sister and I are psychic. Crazy, right? I don't know. Probably not. Maybe we just got like some really good, what is it? Intuition? Maybe. Who knows? But that's kind of fun. It's kind of scary. Definitely had some weird things happen in my life. So I definitely know people are looking after me and looking and, looking over me. There's been way too many things that have happened that I'm like, no, that can't be coincidental. That is just too crazy. So, but yeah, if you guys have any, stories like that, feel free to let your girl know because I find it so interesting. I love it. I think it is so cool. like ghosts and stuff like that. Like I know my mom's house is haunted. Like it's so scary. And my dad might be moving soon. So if it's too far away, then I might have to go back and live with her. And it scares me because that house is like totally haunted and it freaks me out. And people used to like whisper in my ear. My sister gets tapped every now and then, like her mechanical what's it called? Her mechanical music boxes go off in the middle of the night. Yeah. No, no, because my mom always loves to travel and she gets one everywhere she goes, and they're not like the little mechanical ones where you can kind of like electric, whatever. It's like you gotta twist that yourself. So that is super creepy, but it is kind of cool. It's fun. But if you guys like this video, maybe please consider like, commenting, and subscribing. If you guys want to see a brand new Let's Play, let me know if you guys have any ideas of what I could do. Should I do a rags to riches, or should I just do a family Let's Play? Should I have a boy, have a girl? Let me know, because I never know, because I suck at doing Let's Plays, but I really, 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 really want to do it because I don't want to be just stuck to one thing. And I want to do more than speed bells. So yeah, if you guys like this video, maybe please consider like commenting, and subscribing. And I will see you all later. Okay, bye guys.